Good morning and welcome. It is Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday, a day that was actually founded in 2012 to be of service, to give, to make our communities a better place, to get the word out about 501c3 nonprofits, not only in your neighborhood, but in your state, in the United States, and throughout the world. I am Tamara Hunter, and we are raising funds and awareness on a give-a-thon, a 36-hour give-a-thon, raising funds for Chemo Buddies for Life. I have our guest of the hour, and that is Renee Reisch. Welcome, Renee. Renee, you're one of our Chemo Buddies. You've actually been a support buddy, and you've been with us for how long now?
Oh, a couple of years. I was with you, I believe, in the inception of this when we met in LA a couple of years ago when I saw you on stage, and I think I cornered you.
You did. You wouldn't let me go to lunch.
Right after you got off the stage, I literally made a beeline because my dad at that time had just been diagnosed with lung cancer and he never smoked a day in his life. Right. And so when I heard you speaking up there, I literally, like you said, yeah, I won't let you move. I didn't know, we hadn't met, and I just heard you speaking and I knew that I needed to connect with you before you even said another word or made another move. I just needed to get to you because it was divine timing, I believe, that I went there and that you were speaking when I was there about that.
Right. And what we have now, and then you started becoming like my co-pilot and going and doing stuff because it was all about starting to build this movement. And that is exactly what we're doing. And you know, let's be real. We are going into Giving Tuesday. This is let's see. We are Giving Tuesday is a day about giving, and we are raising funds. We are raising funds. That's what this is all about, for us to be able to take this program to those people that are in need. And you know what that's all about. Now, I just did some numbers. Actually, someone did some numbers for me. And that is that we need to be raising per hour right now because we're kind of behind the 8 ball, but we don't have to remain there. We need to be raising at least $1,388.89 right now per hour. We've got the programs. We've got the buddies. We've got the need. We've got the proof. Now we need to raise the funds. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the last couple of years of what you have been experiencing with this program?
It's tremendous. It really is. Anybody and everybody watching, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in, gosh, Chemo Buddies for Life is really the way to go. It's for not just the patients, but those caregivers, because everybody needs a buddy. And even those caregivers need the buddies because they feel like they're going through this time and they don't have support either. But we are here for everybody involved in this journey, not just the patients, as I said, but those caregivers, those people, you know, that are in need of help and support along their journey with everything they're going through, because even support needs support.
Right.
They need breaks. They need breaks from what they're doing to be able to keep going. You know, it's not an easy journey. I know personally with my dad, and I know he's with me and watching over me, that, you know, I was here for my mom and him, and it was really a big saving grace to have, you know, me there for my mom so she could take a break. I remember there were days when I walked in and she just, you know, would be preparing a meal in the kitchen and she would walk out and she would be so relieved that help was here, you know. And we don't live together, but I am close enough where I come down quite a bit, and I came down a lot. And I would stay for days at a time, and then go and come back. I just kept coming back, like that boomerang. But I knew that's where I was needed, and I know that when you're going through this, it's really important to have that support system. And everybody needs support. It doesn't matter who you are or where you are in this life, because we're all on a journey, whether you have cancer or anything else going on in your life. It's a journey that we're on, and we all need that support. Chemo Buddies for Life is such an amazing organization. I am so proud and honored to be affiliated with it, associated with it, to have been your right hand in our journeys when we first met, Tamara, and to still be with you in this part of your journey. And it's a blessing and a gift to be here for people that are going through this illness.
Right. And I'm grateful because last year we actually we decided that was the first year we were going to make a mark on Giving Tuesday, and we started at midnight it was the 27th. I'll never forget it. It was the 27th. We were in Vegas because we said we are going to become the Jerry Lewis Telethon and create a movement to change the world one buddy at a time. And we did it. We started at midnight and we ended at midnight. We rocked the room, and we went live internationally, and it was that line in the sand that we are going to be here. We're going to be here today. Tomorrow we're going to make a difference, and we are all about creating a community of people that are like-minded, like-purposed, and are there for each other. And when you found out about your dad, and I mean, it just happened. In fact, he was still going through testing at the time when you came, and it was just it was just getting, okay, our immunotherapy, or what kind of therapy are we going to be able to do? And I remember that very distinctly.
Yes. Good memory, yes.
Yeah, and because each buddy counts, and that is what is critically important to understand. And this is all about a day of giving. Chemo Buddies for Life is one of the 501c3s that has qualified under the giving program that Giving Tuesday has created. They have a program through Facebook. They have a program that if you donate, starting, I think it's at 8 o'clock this morning. I have to check and see exactly what time this morning it is. But starting at a certain time this morning, $1 turns to $2. So what I am asking people to do right now, let's do this. Let's share. Let's start watch parties. Let's maximize this day and say, okay, no more. Anybody is not going to face cancer alone. We have this nonprofit that is all about making a difference here in the United States and throughout the world. We've got the volunteers. We've got the programs. Now we need to raise the funds.
Yes.
You were just in, where were you? You just were in Denver?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I just got home yesterday afternoon. I was freezing there. Yes. It's just in Denver.
Oh, yeah. You don't like the cold.
One of my brothers lives there, and he and his wife invited my mom and I out. And this was the first time we'd been there since Dad passed. He passed almost a year ago, December 13th, 2018.
Doesn't seem like that. It could be that.
Yeah, I know. I know. I feel him all the time. I know he's with me. I know he's still here. He's not physically here, but he's still here. And it's a blessing that I can still feel him. I just know that Chemo Buddies is something that is going to keep growing and growing. And people just need to hear about this organization and know about this organization and know that to go through cancer doesn't mean you're isolated, because it is a very isolating illness. We all do. Yes, Patty Sadler is coming in there. Yes, we all do need a buddy, and life is way better that way. I know that. I know how much my dad appreciated my presence, how much my mother, as his life partner, and how much she appreciated me coming in to help her, because it is something that you don't have to feel isolated. It is isolating because you feel like you're alone, because it's you, like you're going through this. And I understand that, but I guess nobody truly understands unless you've been touched by it in some way, shape, or form. I know many have. I don't know many people who haven't been, whether it's a friend or family member, that they've been touched by some form of cancer in their lifetime, whether it is a family member, as I said, or a friend. But knowing that you're able to give back to your friends and your family in this way, to be there for them as they've been there for you, that to me is a gift and a blessing. And I'm just so grateful that I was there for my dad, and that I continue to be there for my mom, because even now, I mean, she's an independent lady and she just turned 83, but I know how much she appreciates my being there for her in this part of her journey, and she there for me in this part of mine. And that we know that we did right by Dad. We definitely did right by him.
Yeah.
And, he
So-
was when he passed. He was at that point, he was on hospice in the house. I do remember him before he came home. He was in the hospital, and he said, "I want to go home." And I remember thinking, does he mean home? Does he mean home to God? What did he mean? But then he talked about having a shower. I'm like, okay, he means the house. He wants to go to the home that he knew. And we did bring him home. And as it turned out, and this was his will, I'm sure that I was the only one in the house with the caregiver from hospice when he did pass. My mom, for that 1 hour, had stepped out. And my brother from LA, I have two brothers, he was staying with my cousins. And the hospice gal came knocking on the door. I was in the shower getting, dressed for the day, and she said, "It's time to come out. He's going." And I ran out, and that's when he passed. I was able to hold his hand and be with him. So it's incredible how that happened. She had literally just left for a brief time, the only time she left. And that's when he passed. But she did give him permission, because we were told you need to give, when they're transitioning, you need to give them permission to go. And they both were able to say their piece and be there and say what they needed to say to each other. So all of that was a blessing. And I'm just grateful, so grateful to have been there for him. And as I said, still be here for my mom. It's just, chemo buddies is something that people really need to know about, and to know they don't need to feel isolated. They don't need to feel alone, that there is a way to reach out, and not everybody's comfortable in reaching out. And I know that. And that's why as soon as we hear that you're going through something, we will reach out to you. Please don't hesitate to reach out. It's cb4l.org. C as in Charlie, B as in boy, L as in love, cb4l.org. And please reach out. We are here for you. You do not need to go through this alone. As I said, whether you are the patient or the caregiver, we are here for you. This was created for you by Tamara Hunter, and we are supporting her in every way possible. And I am grateful to be here for that support for you, Tamara.
Well, thank you. And so what I'm doing right now, okay, so I'm doing this Giving Tuesday. We have Giving Tuesday that we are working on. This is the second time we've been doing this in a row, and it's actually fun, because I know that you're one of the ambassadors. You have reached out. You have worked with other support buddies. You've helped them. What has that meant to the people that you have reached out and worked with? What would you say that they've gained from that?
I would say, well, first of all, I'm honored to have been able to reach out to people needing that support. I think, again, I say this, I keep saying the word gift, but I feel it is a blessing and a gift to be able to be that voice for others and to be able to hear them and to know what they're going through. Because, like I said, until you've gone through it, you don't really know somebody's pain. And I think it made me stronger in a way going through it with my father, because I knew the kind of pain that he was experiencing. I mean, nobody knows physically until that person, but to be side by side, I did feel a lot of his pain. And I knew, I was at those chemo treatments and radiation, and to see those effects, the after effects, and to be there for him, being there for other people. I believe for them, it meant that they weren't alone, that they had support, that they had someone who was empathetic, sympathetic, compassionate, because I knew from where they felt and spoke. I knew their situations, of what they were going through, because until you've experienced it, you really don't know. That voice of cancer, that voice of people going through that pain. And when they feel that they have a buddy with them, I know how much it meant to them. I mean, they told me, but
Mm-hmm.
I know how much of a help it was for them. It wasn't just everybody like around them, but it was maybe like a one-on-one where they felt that they could vent, they could be angry, they could be sad, they could show their emotions. And it was like a judgment-free zone. There is no judgment. You're just allowed to be you and feel sad and feel angry. Why did it happen to them? Why is this happening? Why are they going through this? They can feel any emotion they want, and it's okay, because I am there for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's
Right.
comforting. That's very comforting, because sometimes when you're with somebody else, you don't know if it's okay to feel these emotions, but it's not okay. You're not okay. It just is. Just allow and let be. And,
Right.
they can
Right.
be.
And then you can get to the other side.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Being present and being, yes, absolutely. That's the way to get to the other side, is by, unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, but by going through it. Um,
Right.
you
Right.
know, and going through things in life, as I know for things I've gone through. And the only way to get to the other side is to go through those difficult times, as difficult as they are. And, quite frankly, they suck. They suck. There's no easy way to put it. They just do. Um, but that's how you build your resilience and your own strength and your own compassion, your own empathy and sympathy, for others, is when you go through those things yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
although they're not pleasant at the time, when you reach the other side of that, that there was a reason you went through it.
Right. 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 And that's what we are raising funds and awareness for right now for Giving Tuesday. And I am actually right now going here, Giving Tuesday 2019, and matching funds. Okay. So what is happening is midnight. Okay, so let's see. That's one of the groups. Let's look and see what they are saying on Facebook. Okay, so 8 a.m. Eastern time, so 5 p.m. or 5 a.m. So now 44 minutes in. We are 44 minutes in to the matching funds. So every $1 turns to 2. And go to the Chemo Buddies for Life page here on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching it on the website right now, go to Facebook, go to the PayPal, the donate button, because if you hit the donate button, for every $1 right now, it will be matched. So that's $2. And we are, with that in mind, and that's with the money not going out everywhere else. If we were to be able to, it's $1,388.89. With that then matched, that would take us to our goal. But that is only if all the money has not been given out, because once that money, that the money that they have set aside for matching, once that's gone, it's gone. It's $1 is $1. So this is the moment in time, guys. I mean, we're really pushing it because this is a program that is working. And Renee, I am grateful that you're here with me right now during this hour. It's not an accident, because of the fact that you're really about your voice, being able to heal through sharing your voice, sharing your message, getting your, because you know what it's like to have lost your voice.
Yes.
And too many too many of the buddies understand that too, because they're feeling isolated and alone. They're feeling as though maybe they can't even say what they're thinking, because it could be a matter of, it could be, we talked about this with Vicky, it could be a social thing, or a cultural thing. It may be the family just doesn't want to hear about it, or maybe they're doing it self-imposed, whatever it may be. But it has been proven, it's been proven that if you isolate yourself and you hold back your voice, your chance of living that 5 years, which I hit my 5-year anniversary this month on the 10th.
Oh,
5 years. 5 years this month on the 10th. That's a big deal
that
in
is
the
a
cancer
huge deal.
world. That's a
That's a
big deal.
huge
And
deal.
we're here celebrating that right now. And for my celebration, I want us to be doing this right now. And actually, we need to be doubling, tripling, quadrupling right now, because if we can, if we can right now, guys, we should have 10, $20,000 in there right this minute. And if we did, and not if, we should. And with that dollar match for dollar, we would be right now at that point where we'd be, that bar would be across it. We would have our goal met, and it would be gravy from here on out. That's what should be happening, right?
That will be happening. I'm looking at the comments. Patty Gottfried Sadler. Yes, I see her comments in the section. And thank you. Yes, it is about the voice. And I went through my own struggle with the voice back in 2013, as you're talking about the voice of cancer. Thankfully, I did not have cancer, but I did lose it and didn't know if I would ever speak again back in 2013. And I didn't know. I thought maybe that was how God was going to bring me home, because I wasn't getting better. People were asking me, did you think you had cancer? I didn't know what I had. Doctors didn't know what I had. They were doing, I think it was close to 19 or 20 vials of blood that were taken. I was not allowed to be with the public for 3.5 months. I was isolated. So talk about knowing, and like I said, when God brings you to and through it, do I know how cancer patients feel isolated? Yes, I was not allowed to be with anybody. I was literally locked away for 3.5 months, because what I had was a virus that was highly contagious. It was an illness that not just took away my voice, but it kept me a prisoner for that period of time. And it took close to a year, a lot of vocal coaching and therapy for me to get my voice back. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know, like I said, why I got it, what it was. I was not spiritual at the time. I very much so am right now, and I've been for the last several years. And it is a journey, and part of my journey is something that I'm going to share with you, Tamara. And I know you and I spoke about this, and I do have a surprise for you too. So I'm going to just share. So for everybody out there, a lot of people don't know this. This is a book that I literally wrote. It was about over 2 years in the making, and it is called Finding Your Voice, Unlock Your Chains, and Unleash Your Greatness. Many people that are watching now don't know this because my own mother did not know this. I got it delivered just a couple of weeks ago to my home, and I literally dropped everything. I drove down. I walked in the house, and she had literally, this is the universe, she had literally just walked in the house 30 seconds before I drove up the driveway. She had no idea I was coming. Listen to this with the voice. Oh my goodness. And I presented it to her. And I know my dad knows now that I wrote this book. He didn't know then, obviously, but he knows now. And Tamara, what I would like to do, my gift to you for Giving Tuesday, is to have proceeds from the purchase of this book go to Chemo Buddies for Life during this give-a-thon. So if people would put into the comments that they purchased the book during this time, then that's the only way we'll be able to track it and give to this. So please, when you purchase this, it's on Amazon right now. When you go in and purchase it, please make that note in the comments so we can track it and we can donate to Chemo Buddies for Life. I know you had no idea about this because I wanted to surprise you. But this is what I want to give for Giving Tuesday for the proceeds to go to Chemo Buddies. So please, you guys watching near or far, wherever you are, please go in and help us out and help Tamara out. And this is a way you can do that. So this is my journey, and this is how I want to give for Giving Tuesday for you and Chemo Buddies on your journey. And I'm here and grateful to be part of this with you.
Well, I am grateful you're here with me too. So let's do this. I am going to share where we are on this website. Let's go and see. We have a lot of room to go. We have a lot of room to go, and I know we can do it. So let's do this. We've got a dream wig or the spirit wig for $100. That the first $100 that for if someone wants to have one of the wigs from Heather, then let's go ahead and put it in the comment. $100. We have another thing that Dawn has donated to Chemo Buddies for Life and said, okay, for $100, she'll do the working with the stones, the crystals, and she'll do that. And then she'll do another one for the first person that signs up as a buddy. And then she'll also, the person that donates the most during this full time, she's going to do a consultation with. And she's fascinating. If you didn't see that segment, you should go and watch it. And so we have wonderful things that have been donated to us so that we can get that bar to move.
We've got to do it, guys. cb4l.org. Please come on in, help us out. There's no amount too small to donate because when you're giving, you're giving. And we are grateful for every single cent that comes in. Please help us out. This is a time for Giving Tuesday. We need your help. We need your support. Please come on in and help us out. This is a time that you can give back and you can help us out. And this is an organization that truly, truly is incredible. Please help donate to Chemo Buddies for Life, cb4l.org.
I'm also checking to see if by chance, because that won't show on this, and so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt to see if anybody has gone to the the Facebook page to donate because of the fact, think about this, $1 becomes $2. $1 becomes $2. And that is for a very limited time. So I'm looking to see if we have anybody that has taken advantage of it And I'm not saying that we do. So,
Tamara, Michelle, I want to thank Michelle Nordoff. She just ordered the book because I said that I was going to give the proceeds to she put the order number in there. Thank you so much, Michelle, for purchasing the book. That is fabulous. That is wonderful. Thank you so much. This just so you know, also with the book, you guys, it's not just about me. This book was not written for me. It was written for each and every one of you. This is not a yay me. This is in each of the chapters. At the end of each of the chapters is questions to pose to you to help you along your journey as I've gone through mine. So this is written for every single person going through whatever you're going through in your life, to help you and be there for you in your journey. As my best friend, who is also in heaven, was there for me during my journey, I am here for you and yours. So please, it's a quick read. It's only 92 pages. You can get through this, and I'm going to be here to help you through it. So please go ahead and go to Amazon and purchase and put it in the comments. And thank you so much, Michelle, for purchasing the book. And Tamara, I can't wait to give the proceeds for during this time to you. I know this is going to help so many people. So many people.
well, you know, and I am all about us getting the word out about Giving Tuesday, because you know the idea that you find yourself when you give yourself, the
Yes.
idea that service is actually an activity of unconditional love. And within the buddies community, we are all about that four-letter word. And humor, you gotta have it. You gotta have your daily dose of humor. Hope, you've gotta have hope. And heart, oh my gosh, you know, that's all about the love. And when I think about the people that we have, actually, you know, many of them, not
Yes.
all of them, not everybody within this organization knows everybody unless they've been called to work with someone. And it, because this is the way we started the evolution of where we are going and why we are raising these funds. And in the beginning, it was manual, because that's what we had to do. So we band together and we said, okay, we are not going to let people feel isolated and alone. We're going to create this community. And should they want to be paired off, or should we be able to help with an ambassador? And that's where, of course, Kimberly in the very beginning, and then Sharon for a good over a year, they really helped set us to a point where then we end up with many ambassadors that started coming, and we were pairing off with ambassadors and with the buddies to be able to create a community of people that are saying, okay, we can move through this. We are not alone. We are making a difference. And you have witnessed that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is incredible. I'm looking at the comments as I'm scrolling through, and I'm listening to Tamara, to Angel Marie Monticelli. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Did
Thank you
good
so
job.
much. And Michelle Nordoff and Patty Gottfried Sadler, thank you so much for these beautiful, loving, heartfelt comments. I hear them, I see them, I feel them. Thank you so, so much, each and every one of you. I'm so filled with gratitude for you jumping in and popping in. Thank you so much. Yes, Tamara, we make a difference. It is being there for people. And as I said, having gone through my own, adversity and coming through to the other side, as you said earlier, coming through things, when God brings us to things and through things, challenges in our lives, there is a reason, and we do not know it at the time. I had no idea why I went through what I went through, because it was flipping miserable. It was a nightmare. It was painful as all hell. I felt like I was swallowing razor blades. No, I've never swallowed one, but the imagination of what it might feel like, or knives that were like steak knives or something, it was sharper than heck. And the pain was excruciating. So do I know the pain of cancer? I don't know the pain of cancer, but I know what pain is. Right. And I know that I am grateful to be here and to be the voice that I got back, to be the voice for others. Because it is a blessing and a gift to be able to be here for other people. And that is why God brought me through my challenge, not to just get through it and say, thank you, Lord, which I did, but to do something with it, to be a voice for others. Right. And if I can help even one person, then it was worth that pain that I endured, because that's what it's about, being here for other people. Not just for yourselves. It's not about us. There's a greater purpose why we're here. There's a greater vision. And it's God's vision and God's purpose. And we're here to serve, to give, to serve, and to share. And I got through that time in my life to be of service to others, or else it would have been for naught. Right. And you have been, and you've been very committed to our organization. And I thank you for that. You've shared this with others. You've been there for the other ambassadors to help them. Last year, you even interviewed a couple of the buddies. How was that to interview? Because last year we had two of the buddies actually. One drove with you, and one flew into Vegas, and then during one of the hours you got to visit with them and talk about their experiences. What would you share that you found out in visiting with those two? You know, Tamara, it was amazing to be able to interview them, and thank you for that opportunity for doing that last year on the show. It's just like we were talking about, that feeling that they had felt isolated because they each had different types of cancer. Right. You know, there was Brett and Carolyn, and it was just a different type of cancer that they had. Yet it's still the similarity of going through the illness, regardless of the type. It's still going through it. And feeling that isolation, because Carolyn was glioblastoma, and Brett was, I forget he had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Yes, yes, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and yes, the thing with Brett. Oh my God, I love that gentleman. I remember when you told me, you said, "Can you go pick him up in Murrieta?" I'm like, okay, anything you said to me, Tamara, because of my love for you and our relationship that is so powerful and strong. I was in Orange and you was in Murrieta. I'm like, okay. And you said, and then can you drive to Vegas? Okay. I've never driven to Vegas. My best friend in heaven was the driver when we went to Vegas, and we went like every year we would go there. She was the driver. I was a navigator, and actually she really knew how to get there after so many years. But I just went. It was just in blind faith. I went. I picked up this gentleman I had never met before. I drove his car. I got it. Because that's when you have trust, have faith, and believe. Those right. 3 words. I know you, I love you, I trust you, I have faith in you, and I believe in you. And when you asked me to show up, by God, I did. Yeah, and I drove there to Murrieta. And then we just took off to Vegas in his car, and I drove I had never met him. I spoke to him briefly on the phone, and then I got into his car and we drove and we showed up. And yes, I was able to interview him and Carolyn, and it was just incredible because, first of all, I'm so thankful they're still with us today. They're still with us. That 4-letter word, love, is a very powerful word, because people who have support and have the love in their life to keep them going, That is what keeps them going, because they're no longer alone. They're no longer isolated. They are no longer going through this journey by themselves, because you have people who love you, who care about you, who support you, and who will be there for you till the very end.
Very, very true. And you know what? I hate to do this, but I just see that we've gone over our time, and it's so credible. Thank you for coming on, Renee. Thank you for being an ambassador. Thank you for being a support buddy. Thank you for the proceeds of your book today. And thank you. Please, please, please be sharing with everybody to donate today. We are, this number is going to go up now because we are behind again, the 8 ball. So we need to, let's make a pact that by noon, let's get to, I mean, let's blow 3,000 out of the water. Let's blow it out. I would like to be able to see us more at 5 or 10, because that would be putting us much more in line. And remember, $1 becomes 2 on Facebook. And I need to go, because if I don't, we're going to have a problem with the link again. So I love you, Renee.
I love you too. Thank you so much.
Sharing. All right.
Bye, guys. Let's rock this.
Yes, we're going to do this. Knock it out of the park. Bye.
Have a great day, everybody.